Today we're talking all things landing pages, sales pages, carts, email marketing systems, and my specific setup for my business. I'm super excited to share this one with you. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Before we jump into today's episode, let's talk about our sponsor, Jane. Jane is an all-in-one practice management software designed to help you create documentation, book in your clients, schedule, process payments, and run your entire practice online. The team at Jane knows your time is valuable, so they've created online intake forms to help you spend less time on paperwork and more time with your patients. They are amazing, by the way. These intake forms are fantastic. To streamline your intake process, Jane makes it easy to automatically email intake forms at the time of booking. You can gather patient data, consents, insurance information, and payment details all before your patient even walks through the door. And to help them remember to fill out their forms, Jane has you covered with a friendly email reminder sent 24 hours prior to their appointment. To learn more, head to jane.app/guide or use the code LEX1MO at sign up to receive a 1-month grace period applied to your new Jane account. That is, again, LEX1MO at checkout. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business, and happy Monday. I am super excited to record this episode for you today. We're talking all things landing pages, sales pages, carts, and email marketing. We'll dive into why in a moment and all the details, but super pumped. As always, starting off with life and business updates. This has been a really, really fun weekend. Played a lot of volleyball. Actually got to be coached by one of the pro beach volleyball players this weekend. That was super fun. Tomorrow, we are going to see a comedy show in downtown LA. Super excited for that as well. And we saw Heather McMahon last Saturday, and that was just to die for. Super amazing show. I know I talked about it on last Monday's episode, but if you didn't listen to that one, Heather is so funny, and it's been so exciting to see her growth just this past week because her new special was just recorded this past week and she was on College Game Day and all the things. So it's been really exciting to see her really grow and how her comedy career is just literally exploding. So yeah, super excited. You just heard me drop my pen. Anyway, so I would like to jump into life updates a little bit more. Let's see. What do we got? I'm literally sitting here racking my brain. Oh, I get to see my family next week for the first time in the last 6 months. So since I moved to California, going to be seeing them next week because they are actually driving down to hang with Shantae's family and me, for the holidays, which is so exciting to me. I'm super, super excited for that. And then, it just kind of goes into a 2 months of crazy work and crazy travel. So the next 2 months are pretty busy and I'm excited for it. I'm definitely really excited for all the travel and all the people that I'm going to get to see in the next 2 months. But obviously that also brings just, a very strict working schedule and play schedule. And as I talked about in multiple episodes now, scheduling is super important to me and making sure that I, maintain the boundaries. So going to be taking my weekends very seriously so that I can, show up 110% Monday through Friday and get stuff done for everyone. And yeah, it's something that I really enjoy, being able to have the authority to take that weekend, take the time off to fill my cup and then serve everyone else from the overflow from Monday through Friday, as Emma Jack would say. So yeah, I'm just super pumped overall. Business wise, realistically, the one thing I do want to say, because there's not a ton of business updates, things are just kind of flowing. I had mentioned last week that everything is being scheduled, basically everything anyway, into January and February and March of next year. So if you're interested in jumping on the schedule at any point in time for a do it in a day, those are scheduling into next year at this point. So if you're interested, let me know and we can jump on a discovery call. You can feel free to book that right in my bio. and we'll chat dates. Now, I do know that my schedule is very limited. I have mentioned in multiple episodes now that these next 2 months are definitely busy because most of my time now is my retainer clients and my Lextramind clients. So just making sure that if you need time on my schedule, you book in soon. I will have some new offers, if you will, or continuation offers for my SEO school students, because I know that after you go through SEO school, there are things you still want to ask me and things that you might have questions on and don't need my help necessarily doing it for you, but want to. I'm going to use the word that I absolutely, or phrase that I absolutely hate, quote unquote, pick my brain. But some things you just want to ask questions, get answers. So I'm going to have some options that I'm going to announce maybe in a couple weeks. I haven't decided exactly when, but we'll be announcing those. And lastly, this is a big one, the Creative Law Shop. So the law shop that I actually recommend for all of my legal documents, for my website, for courses, for coaching, all of the things, they are having a 30% off sale. And then I also get an extra 10% off that for you. So my code LEX10 on shopcreativelaw.com will get you a total of 40% off. This is the biggest sale they've done, I want to say, since probably mid 2022. It's definitely been over a year because they were doing sales for 20% most of last year or this past year. And then I think one sale was 25. So 30% off plus 10. So a total of 40% off is a huge sale for them. So I would recommend, if you are waiting or have been waiting to get legal templates for your website or don't have any legal documents for your website, I would suggest checking them out and jumping on the sale, because yes, it's cheaper than hiring a lawyer and it's less inexpensive, I should say, than hiring a lawyer, but legal documents still are not, they're not free. So spending the money, if you are ready to spend that money and also get a discount, a heavy discount on that, I would recommend jumping on that sale. So that is shopcreativelaw.com, and you can use my code LEX10. I'll make sure I put it in the show notes so you have access to it. I think that's really it for business stuff. Really no other huge updates. If you have questions for me, as always, I have my Instagram DMs are open, my email's open. Shoot them in there, let me know. And I will see, I might have some more business updates next week, so we'll leave it as is for now. But that's all I got for that. So let's jump in to the episode. So here's the thing. I was, contemplating what I wanted to talk about today, and I had seen a couple people ask questions, whether it was on Threads or Instagram. I might want to say one of them was on Facebook, and they kind of asked into the ether, what do they recommend for sales pages? What program do they recommend for sales pages and email marketing? And I think one person had said like a cart, if you will. So how to buy a program. So I figured I'm going to give you just an insight of what my system looks like and then give you my general recommendations, but also prefacing all of this with the caveat of everyone and everything is different. And that's why tech is not like a one size fits all approach. So my system would not work for other people. And my system has also evolved as my offers have evolved. So there are some general things that I will recommend and general things that I will say, I guess, fit for everyone, but most things are not a one size fits all, and it's really tailored to your offers and what you're doing as a business. So I'm just going to break down my stuff first. Actually, before I jump into that, I want to say one thing. I feel like asking into the ether about tech systems is kind of like, I don't want to say like the blind leading the blind, but it's like if you're asking the ether of people, it's also important to understand like that person may have asked a different ether of people to get to the system they're on. And I feel like most people are not doing much other than like Googling things and maybe popping it into a question box, if you will, on Instagram. And I feel like it feels like people are taking a shot in the dark. So if you take anything from this, I would just say, I know that people have to do their own trial and error. And it's not lost on me that that is a part of the process. And I myself have done that as well. So I have done the trial and error and I've found the things that work. But when I speak about this stuff, it is from a place of working with people who are on all sorts of different systems and coming to the conclusion of what software really does work really well together. And also understanding and taking a step back and thinking, okay, what will make this the most functional, the most easily used, if you will, or ease of usability, and just making sure that we also take into the account that the systems that we have or that are accessible are not always going to be a one size fits all, right? And when we find something like that, and when something offers to be everything, I also will say, and I've done an episode on this prior, I have no idea what episode number it is, but I did an episode on software before where I said, like, if something says it's everything, it's also going to be expected to not be good at everything. And it's kind of like a general practitioner versus a very specific practitioner. So I just want to preface this episode with that. So there are a lot of caveats that go into this, but also I will say that the reason I'm saying that this tech is the stuff that I use and this is the evolution that I've had is because I've determined that this is the stuff that works. So yes, there are different ways to do it. And yes, there will be other people who do things that I do that use different software have different software recommendations. So I will share mine. And then at the end of the day, I also accept the fact and I don't take personal responsibility for it. And I certainly don't take it on emotionally, but I know that people are going to say, but this works for me. And that's great. Or they'll say, oh, I just want to try this one anyway. Great. Have fun, do your thing. And then oftentimes people will say, I either didn't set up that system because it was too hard, or it didn't do what I wanted it to do, or I had to pay a ton of money to, put Zapier and do all my zaps for this thing to link it up. So I will speak from a place of the fact that I'm working with a lot of different people and seeing how their systems either do or do not work, and also my own. So take it for what it's worth, but I'm definitely the person at this point in my life where if someone tells me that they're using X, Y, and Z, I'm just going to copy them because it's working for them. So I'm going to give you my breakdown. So I'm going to give you just the breakdown of where my stuff lies and then talk about why I do things the way that I do them. So that way, whether you decide I want to have a separate software or what have you, you can make that decision. So my website is on Squarespace. My courses, so SEO School, my Canva course, my ConvertKit course, that is on Kajabi. So Kajabi is a course platform. My, payment software, most of my payment software is all through Stripe, if it can work with Stripe, which all of my stuff does. So my carts, if you will, are on Squarespace and Kajabi. So I'll talk about what that entails in a second. And then my email marketing is ConvertKit. So I will always say that you should host your sales page on your website. So there's many different reasons to do this, but the biggest one is SEO. So SEO, and also it's attached to your website. So it's nice to not have people be two separate places. So I will always say that your sales page should be on your actual website itself. There's software that exists, like Lead Pages, for instance, that you can create a page for an offer and then have a cart there for people to buy, and it's not associated with your website. The problem with that, the biggest problem with that, is that it's not associated with your website at all. And not to mention, it's expensive. So it's like you're paying a ton of extra money for an actual no reason at all. You can host the same exact thing on your website that you're already paying for, and the cart can exist whether it's through a Stripe product, a PayPal product, God forbid, or a ConvertKit product. So you can do the same exact thing that any of those softwares offer without spending the extra, it's like $99 plus a month for, an extra software that does just sales pages and carts. So there's that. So my software is website, Squarespace, Kajabi is my courses, or are my courses. and ConvertKit is email marketing. My sales pages for all of my programs used to be held on just Squarespace. So like I said, I use Squarespace for my sales pages and my carts were on Squarespace. This was the first 4 rounds of SEO school. All of my templates, all of my courses were all run through Squarespace and all of my sales pages were on Squarespace. At this point, I have my sales pages for SEO school and Lextramind on Kajabi. Simply because my course platform, right? So Kajabi, I was able to create those sales pages in Kajabi and just link to the offer in Kajabi. That allows me to time out my SEO school. And like, that's why my cart is on Kajabi. And I kept my cart on Kajabi and my sales page on Kajabi simply so that the system was in the same spot. I could have created my sales page on Squarespace and then linked to Kajabi's cart so that my offer could be dripped and whatnot. But I'll be honest, I wanted to redo my sales page anyway. And Shantae and I hosted Lextramind on Kajabi. So I was just able to duplicate and reuse that sales page and redo my SEO school page, and I kept it on Kajabi. So why would I do the exact opposite of what I tell you to do? Number one, I am hosting the sales page on Kajabi simply because I want it to be on the same system as my educational platform. So that is where my courses are anyway. Number two, I liked the fact that I have the ability, if you will, to have those two separate platforms for my education versus my templates, etc. Now, in my mind, I'm actually going to rebuild my Kajabi landing page on my Squarespace website. So that is my end goal. I just haven't had time. So I'm going to take the landing page that I have for SEO school and put it on the back end of my Squarespace website as well. So that way I do have it attached to my domain. So that is my long-term goal. It's not like I'm just going to keep it on Kajabi. So I want to back up a second. The reason why I would say that this is something that I would quote unquote be okay with, or I am okay with it, is because I'm paying for Kajabi already for my educational platform. Like I would not pay for anything else. And I'm paying for Squarespace. So I'm not adding an external software as a third software where I'm paying more money. So for me, financially, it makes sense to keep things on Kajabi and Squarespace. SEO wise, I just said that I'm going to be putting that SEO school on my Squarespace website. It currently exists only on Kajabi, my sales page, and my cart exists on Kajabi as well. So dealing with the SEO component, I am in the midst of dealing with that so that I can have the landing page on Squarespace as well. And it will link to the same opt-in form for the waitlist on ConvertKit, which is my email marketing system. And the cart will still be on Kajabi. Now, when I recommend where people host their carts, so if you have a service or what have you, it's not a course, anything that's not a course, basically, you can host that right on your website, right? So that would be ideal to host on your website as a cart. So you pay for the big plan of Squarespace, the $550 a month for a year. I'm sorry, not $550 a month, $550 a year for Squarespace. Then you pay only the Stripe fees. So the cart is on Squarespace. You run everything through that. So that is one option. Now, the reason why I say ConvertKit is the best email marketing system and why I use it and why a lot of my clients use it is because you're able to also host ConvertKit products. So for my people who are just starting out, they have a low ticket offer, potentially like an ebook or a webinar. It's really nice that they can host their landing page, their sales page on Squarespace. So a full-blown sales page on Squarespace. And then they actually link away to ConvertKit. And inside ConvertKit, they have a product. So then that product inside ConvertKit exists and they only pay the small fee that it costs. So now this system, once again, so we have a landing page on Squarespace and then a checkout, so a cart on ConvertKit. The reason why I say that this is very doable for a business is because I understand that having a $500 plan for your Squarespace website in order to host, your cart and connect it to ConvertKit for email marketing, that's a lot of money when you first start off. So for me, I would love if people just did their landing page on Squarespace and then their cart for their product would be on ConvertKit, because then we're linking our website to our email marketing system, because our goal is to always be able to have someone check out for their product and then have them in our email marketing system, because we want to be able to send them a follow-up email. Thank you so much for enrolling. Here's the details. We want to be able to send them emails throughout the course or throughout the experience, maybe after the experience is done. We don't want that to be a manual process. So people talk all the time about how they want to automate their business. One of the biggest automations or, situations where I say automation is important is a cart. So a sales page, a cart, and an email. Ideally, we want someone to come to a sales page, we want them to buy, and then we want them to get an email and say, thank you so much. Like, that should all be automated. And the only way to automate that is to have systems that talk. So I have people who manually import every single person that buys and sends them an email. That takes forever. And not to mention, if you just calculated how much time you're spending doing that, it would be worth it to upgrade whatever system you're using to connect the email marketing system to the sales page. So let me back up a second. So you might be thinking, okay, great. So why are you not hosting the cart and the sales page on Squarespace if that's what you want? Reason being is, in order to connect the email marketing system, so the third piece of the puzzle, the sales page, cart, email marketing system, that third piece, in order to do that, you have to be on this highest Squarespace plan. People that are just starting out, people that have a low ticket offer, they don't oftentimes want to do that. So for me, I say, all right, we'll have the Squarespace sales page. We'll link away to ConvertKit products, buy on ConvertKit, and now that person is inside your email marketing system. So that kind of crosses that barrier for me of all right, we already have them in the email marketing system. I love that. Buy the upgrade of ConvertKit instead. So $29 a month for ConvertKit so that we can automate an email that goes to them after they purchase. They'll get the receipt, but then we also want to give them, the course login information or the details about the webinar. So that is a system that I personally didn't use that because it didn't exist, or else I probably would have started there. For me, I started on the basic Squarespace plan, having products, and I used a terrible email marketing system that they have. So Squarespace had email marketing. It's upgraded a little bit, but I still don't recommend it at all. It just doesn't have the functionality that is needed. So I used their email marketing system because I needed to connect the emails. But anyway, this is the situation that I'm essentially describing to you of. It matters if we're able to connect. We need to be able to connect our sales page, our cart, and our email marketing system. And when we do that, all of those things should be able to connect without needing an external software like Zapier. So I understand that a lot of people have automations in their business that they love and they live by. For me, those things, the website, email marketing, cart, that should all be automatic without needing to have external software, because that stuff breaks. So if you're in the middle of a launch, if you're doing any sort of thing where people are paying you money, it's not ideal to have one of those systems break in the middle of the thing. So for me, I'm going to control this as much as possible. I'm going to make sure everything I use connects. And I have people who don't have that as their default. Their default is they have an external software that connects the things. They have systems that don't talk to each other at all. And then it just becomes kind of a cluster, and it creates stress when you don't necessarily need to have stress if you just had the right systems in place. So if you're someone, and this is just going to be my general recommendation for software, because you know how I'm working my stuff. So Squarespace, Kajabi, ConvertKit. Everything has a cost associated with it. So I'm going to go through just the general idea of what I would recommend for someone who's just starting out, but also give you my realistic approach. So I would never do anything different other than having Kajabi for my course platform. It's expensive. So Kajabi's not not cheap, but it does include the features that you need, and it makes everything super simple. So I will say I work on 4 different course platforms for clients. Kajabi, hands down, is the best software for courses. And I will say without hesitation that it's a lot of money, but it's worth it. So even if I was part of New England Pelvic Dot Collective, when we were making $0 and inputting our own personal money in to start the company, we invested in Kajabi right away simply because it is the best platform for courses. So even if you're just starting out, I would recommend doing that. If you decided to invest in something different, the problem becomes you end up building out a bunch of stuff on that platform, and then you end up wanting to switch. I have multiple people right now who are on Teachable, on Thinkific, and they just keep talking about how they might switch, but they have so much stuff built out on those platforms now, and they're having trouble with certain things, and they're like, this is going to be an entire job in order to switch this over. And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have to switch things down the road. So for me, I'm like, if I had a course and I want to sell a course, Kajabi is going to be the way. And it's worth the investment in the beginning, even if you're not making, a ton of money on that course, because the way that Kajabi sets things up, the way that everything is integrated with ConvertKit, right? Without it's not like extra money to integrate ConvertKit with it. So I just would highly recommend always starting with with Kajabi for a course. Website, I will always say Squarespace is the best option. The reason Kajabi also has websites, but the reason why I find Squarespace to be a much better website platform is because it does have a more dynamic website. It is built for websites. Kajabi is built for courses. So, use the things that they're built for. Squarespace, the websites, it's way easier to edit. You can be way more self-sufficient if you're someone who is, a little bit tech savvy, but not totally tech savvy, but wants to manage their own stuff. It's very easy to do on Squarespace. Kajabi is a little bit more difficult. So that would be why I would recommend Squarespace for your website. Now, if you have any sort of offer like coaching or templates like I have, or some sort of like ebook, I would recommend running that through a Squarespace product and upgrading your Squarespace account so that you can have your cart on your website. It's just very, very efficient to have it that way and to not have to link away to something like ConvertKit. I will say that the plan, it's the Commerce Advanced plan. That's the only plan that allows you to actually connect ConvertKit to Squarespace, because you need what we call an API code. So you do have to upgrade your Squarespace account. So it's like $500, I think it's $550 a year. And then ConvertKit is $29 a month. So yes, it's an upgrade, but it's so worth it to have your checkout on your website, just because it looks way more professional. And it does honestly give like more, it just looks good. It looks better than linking away to ConvertKit. Now, in the beginning, I recommend people do use a ConvertKit product, and then when they're ready to invest in a higher plan on Squarespace, upgrade your Squarespace account and put the product on your website. So ConvertKit can be a temporary solution. The one thing I will say is that if you're looking for a pay what you want product, so like you put it on your website, people can pay what they want to buy it, whether it's $0 or you have a minimum of $5, and they can pay up to, $200. I run that through ConvertKit. So I have clients who do this. Squarespace doesn't have that option yet, but ConvertKit does. So once again, that's why I recommend ConvertKit. And that's where my next point is here. ConvertKit links to Squarespace and Kajabi seamlessly. And also ConvertKit has the ability to make easy landing forms, easy opt-ins, and products without charging you extra money. So that's like the big thing here is like, you can have this other software that allows you to do all these things, but it sucks to make a landing page on there. It really sucks. It's just hard to do. It's not intuitive. The links look bad. You can maybe make a product. Most of them you can't make a product and have a paid product on an email marketing software. ConvertKit's like the only one that does that. So it's very nice to have that option if you need it. It's also tough because some email marketing platforms have you pay per opt-in. So if I opt in on 2 different forms, you pay for me twice. Whereas ConvertKit, if I opt in on 6 different forms, you still only pay for me once because I opted in with 1 email address. So just the way that it's subscriber-based or list-based. And ConvertKit in general, right? It just allows you to send emails that land in people's inboxes. So different email marketing platforms have different sender reputations. And if you don't have a good sender reputation, there's a higher chance that your email could end up in someone's spam. So ConvertKit has a really, really good sender reputation. So allows your email to end up in someone's inbox. So with all of that being said, I think that there's a lot of push for people to find a platform outside of their website that offers landing pages, carts, or landing pages and carts, sales pages and carts. And truly, I would push back and say that there's no reason why you can't have your sales page on your website or on your course platform, like I have mine on Kajabi, and then having your email marketing with ConvertKit, because ConvertKit will allow all your systems to talk and also allows you to start small and keep your expenses small when you're just starting out. If you need to list a product on ConvertKit, you can do subscriptions, you can do flat fees, you can do pay what you want, you can do free products. It's great. So I will say that my top choices after working across a lot of different things, Squarespace, Kajabi, and ConvertKit. So Squarespace, your website, your sales pages, all the things. Kajabi, courses, and then sales pages are also great on Kajabi. And then ConvertKit for email marketing. And then if you're just starting out, I love to use the ConvertKit products feature, because then you're able to start selling things without having a huge expense. So that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some clarity on, different systems that you could potentially be investing in for your business, or ways that you could start investing in some of these systems for your business, potentially giving you answers of where to host a sales page if you're just starting out, where to host your cart, what should I buy for email marketing? And if you're ever wondering, what do I recommend? I also have a resources page on my website, and it has all the tech and software that I use on there, as well as some discount codes and all the things. So I know I have a discount code for Kajabi that gets you like a free 14 days, I believe. And then ConvertKit and then Squarespace, I have a sort of discount code if you work with me, but without working with me, I can't just give you a code to put into checkout. So that's all I have for you. Please let me know if you have questions, and if this resonated with you, if this helped you at all, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to leave a review for the podcast. I always read the reviews, and I appreciate every single one of them. Truly, truly thankful that you choose to listen to the podcast. So thank you so much. I will catch you next time.